All right, fam, we're going to get into another long form video, and this one is about residential mortgage field inspections. Now, this is a second video in this series. So if you want to know about field inspections, I'm going to be breaking down each segment of the field inspection industry that I personally deal with, which is mystery shopping. I've already done a video on that. Residential mortgage inspections, commercial inspections, and insurance inspections. And today, we're going to be talking about residential mortgage inspection. So we're going to be covering a lot of things in this video, so stay tuned. So to start this off, basically with mortgage residential inspections, your basic job is to go out to a property and verify if a property is occupied or vacant and determine the condition of that said property. Now, when I talk about residential mortgage inspections, these are generally inspections where the homeowner is delinquent on their mortgage, and so they're sending an inspector out to maybe deliver a letter, verify if a property is occupied or vacant, and a lot of times people don't want to deal with irate homeowners. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to go over each inspection type so that you can decide which inspection type is right for you. All right, so let's jump into what type of inspections to expect when you're doing residential inspection. So some of the most common types is just a basic inspection, which is a verification inspection. Basically, you're just determining if that property is occupied or vacant, and you're verifying the property conditions, all right? Another one is it requires an interview, meaning you're trying to get in contact with the homeowner. And the next one is a letter delivery, where you're just delivering a letter to the house and taking your required photos. And then you have no contact. That's usually for bankruptcy or other reasons that's not disclosed to us. That inspection, we are not allowed to be on the property or make any kind of contact with anyone at that property. And then you have vacant interior and exterior. With those inspections, they do provide you keys, HUD keys, and then you report on those property conditions. And then you have vacant exterior, which I don't have on here, but basically that's just a walk around the property and verify that property's condition. And then you have a few other inspection types, which are common but less common than these. Now in my course, I go over in detail how to verify if a property is occupied or vacant, because reporting accurate results is very imperative to your job. Now that seems like a pretty easy task to do, to verify if a home is occupied or vacant, but sometimes you run into these tricky properties that maybe looks vacant but is actually occupied, and vice versa. I've experienced both. But you want to make sure that you are documenting your findings, because you're trying to prove whether that property is occupied or vacant. So some of the things that you want to look for is just basically, is it a car in the driveway that's not abandoned? Are the lights on? Is there decorations? Did you talk to a neighbor? Yada, yada, yada. I go over a lot of this stuff. My point is, you need to make sure that you're reporting accurately, because if you're inaccurately reporting after so long of inaccuracies, the financial institution starts making moves that is unwarranted and based on your findings. So just make sure you get it right. Now let's jump into your photo requirements. Velocity is a prime example. If you work for Velocity, if you know who Velocity is, Velocity is a prime example where you take some basic photos and you're not really verifying anything. You're just basically going out to the property to take photos. But with residential mortgage inspections, it's a little bit different, because now you have to answer a few questions about the property and verify if that property is occupied or vacant. So here are your basic photo requirements generally. It's generally the front left, the front right, the address, the street scene in both directions, the street sign, and then you have 2 occupancy indicators. Okay? See, those are the things that I told you about earlier, like car in the driveway, plants. Looking at that house, that's a clear indication somebody lives there. Now this is one of the easiest fields to get into, so now we're going to talk about what tools you need in order to get into this part of the industry. You'll need a vehicle, a smartphone, a printer, a computer, a volt stick, which I talk about in my course. It's basically just to check electricity at vacant properties, and sometimes used to verify that a property is occupied. A set of HUD keys. Generally they'll provide you with some keys at a low cost, and a background check. Now, the background check that you have to do is a nationwide background check, and it's usually ABC number. You'll usually get an ABC number where you can take that number and you can use it at other companies that perform residential mortgage inspections. Now, I know many of y'all probably waiting on, well, how much do they pay? Well, it's different. They can range from $2 to $10 per inspection. Now, these inspections are really easy to do. And generally, if you're in a highly populated area, you can make a lot of money because of the volume that they may have. Now, I said between $2 and $10, but $2 is not usually common. That's only common with Safeguard, so don't work for them, okay? Sorry. Oh, I said that. Anyway, $4 and up, I accept inspections for, so that's what you want to arrange these type of expect to be paid with these type of inspections, because they're basically, you're just going out to a property, delivering a letter, or taking a few photos and just reporting back. Now, these type of inspections is not for everybody, because you kind of have to have some thick skin, because you will run into an irate person. So you have to have thick skin and learn how to de-escalate situations, and not, add to the situation. So that is one of the main reasons why some inspectors don't enjoy doing these type of inspections. Now, these inspections don't pay a lot, but they have a lot of volume, which in return makes you a lot of money. Now, for me at the time, that is what I had. So I worked with what I had and I hustled with what I had. That's what I started off with. And I was able to bring home $4,000 and $5,000 paychecks each month. So, it all depends on how much you want to do. After a while of doing that, though, I decided I wanted to work smarter and not harder, because, doing 100 inspections a day, that's a lot of work, but it was worth it at the time. But I wanted to move to inspections that would pay me more and that I would have to work less, so that I could spend more time at home. And that's when I moved into commercial inspections, and that'll be our next video. So stay tuned. Hope you guys learned something in this video. Let me know your questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I hope I was pretty detailed with this. Let's go. It's our time to be free. But are you ready?